Yo, what's up guys? This is Theo here. In this video today, I'm going to sort of explain to you the idea of asynchronous, if I could spell, asynchronous programming, sort of what it is, and the idea behind JavaScript promises, right? And why this might be useful. So asynchronous programming, I'm going to abbreviate that with AP, is basically the idea that the server, the remote data store that the client is making a request to, experiences some sort of latency. When I say latency, I mean delay. That results in again a wait time for data response to the client. And so maybe take a site like Facebook, right, where they're getting bombarded with, well, I'm sure that they're handling it with their servers, right, but they're getting bombarded with request after request after request, and eventually what happens is this event queue, or maybe stack, either one, similar data structures but still different. But I think in JavaScript it's an event queue. This event queue is handling request 0, then request 1, all the way until the last request, right? And then after that, event queue is sort of just listening for more event emitters. So basically, how do you handle this? What you do is you write event-driven code, which usually sort of gives you a handle, or what we call a callback, for when this data is available, right? And so this is the idea. If you've done any programming with mean stack, right, or if you've done any programming with AngularJS, a lot of times there is some frustration in being inexperienced with asynchronous programming, and sort of not always having access to the data. But really, this is a good thing in that your code can continue running and processing many different events while not stalling on a single event emitter, and handling the callback when the data is retrieved. So with that sort of background, again, you can copy this if you guys want. I'm just going to sort of build out a promise library that deals with two methods that are common to promise libraries, which are reject and resolve. Reject is given if the data isn't what you want, and resolved is going to be given if the data is what you want. So why would you really use a promise library? I think the main reason that you're going to want to use a promise in JavaScript is in order to first adhere to the asynchronous programming architecture and style of writing code, but also to sort of have your data being handled in a way that can be compliant with that sort of latency from the server, and dealing with it in such a way that you're going to handle your data when it's given back to you from the data store. So let's build out this promise library, and I'm going to call function custom promise. I'm going to build this out, and this is going to be a constructor. It's just going to take in a name, and I'm going to set this .name to be equal to name. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to return this object, right? So I'm building out this closure here, that if someone instantiates a object of this, they're going to have access to these methods. So it's going to take two methods. It's going to take a resolve, and it's also going to take a reject method. So I've explained these. We'll go ahead and build this out. Okay, so I'm going to say function resolve, and all this is going to do, we're going to sort of simulate asynchronous programming by building out a random number, or sorry, a random time. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to set math.floor. So we're going to floor this number. And I'm going to say math.random. We want a random number between 0 and 10. Or sorry, 0 and 10. So you need one greater. Starts at 0. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to call setTimeout, which is a native JavaScript function, which you pass it a function and a time. Okay, so I'm going to pass it random time. And, in case we get the data back, I'm just going to console.log. You have successfully logged in plus this .name. And then we build out our second sort of method that we would like to use here. And so this method that we're going to use is going to be a reject method, and same sort of logic here. We're going to call a setTimeout. We're going to pass it a function and this random time. But in this case, we are going to throw a new error constructor. And inside of here, we're just going to say, so it sort of looks somewhat professional, say invalid argument exception, or say incorrect name entered, right? Or maybe incorrect credentials, or maybe we'll just do invalid credentials. And from there, we've handled everything. So let me go ahead and build out our promise library. So let me go here. We're not getting any errors. That's good. So I'm going to say var promise is equal to a new custom promise. Okay, so we built out our promise. If we were to go ahead and log out our promise, we can sort of see we get the methods we expect on here, right? We get our reject and we get our resolve method. So we've sort of used this closure to our advantage, the revealing module pattern. So what I'd like to do here, actually, I'm going to turn off the autorun.js. I'm going to create this variable called name in here, and we're just going to prompt the user, please enter a name. Okay, and here we're going to pass it the name, and I'm just going to say if name is not equal to Theo, just very simple example, we're going to call promise dot reject. We're going to reject this data. Otherwise, let's go ahead and resolve our promise and let the user know they're logged in. So with all of that built out, let me run this. Okay, I spelled that wrong, my bad. Change this to prompt. Okay, so let's enter name. Let's enter James and see what we get. Invalid credentials. Okay, so we called promise.reject. And let me try it again with entering Theo, and let's see what we get. So it says you've successfully logged in Theo. Okay, so maybe one other thing we can do so we can actually indeed see this sort of latency. Let me sort of build that out. Let's try it one more time. And let's run this. We'll say James. So we're waiting from the response, for the response from the server. And again, this is a pretty large number, or it could be, right? We don't know exactly the number because we haven't logged it out. But it looks like, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, this could actually be upwards of a minute almost. So let's sort of see how long it takes to get our response from the server. And then I'll bring that number down, and we'll try it one more time with a wrong answer. So sort of simulating, there you go. You got your data back, and let me bring this down, and we'll say James this time. We'll see how long we wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. Invalid credentials, and last time, just to try it, Theo, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, you're successfully logged in. So in this video, I have explained to the best of my ability asynchronous programming and the idea behind promises in JavaScript. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Have a great day.